Okay, hear me out. I am not a picky eater. You all just eat weird shit. Cold foods. Despite tasting like nothing, warmth is a delicious flavor that I can't describe, which is why I do not indulge in a lot of cold food. There are exceptions. Desserts, sandwiches, charcuterie boards, fruits, vegetables, and salads. Which brings me to my first point. Macaroni salad is a sin of man. First of all, it tastes disgusting, but if you're one of the psychos that actually likes it, I have a message for you. It's all a big sham. Putting salad after a food is just an excuse to have it cold. And then there's something like cold noodles, which yes, it's not called noodle salad, but god damn it, if you look up cold foods on Google, 90% of the options have salad after them, including ramen salad, which to me just sounds like a different version of cold noodles. Macaroni salad, cold noodles, ramen salad, whatever the fuck it is just an excuse for people who are too lazy to turn the oven on. A salad has lettuce in it, okay? Macaroni salad is not that. And I'm not eating it because it's shit ass. But what other cold foods? Poke bowls, which seem to be an icon with pretty much everybody I know, is a perfect example. Take the main ingredients I usually see in a poke bowl. Rice, edamames, some sort of meat, all things that I usually like, most of which are better warm. So why, when you put them together, do you decide to make it cold? And then some people combat me with the argument of like, oh yeah, some ingredients in the poke bowl are warm while other parts of it are cold. Don't do that. Don't mix warm and cold. I don't want a volcano in one half of my mouth and the fucking iceberg in the other. Hell, anything with rice in it should not be cold. Sushi, why is it cold? And I know I said before that one of my exemptions is sandwiches. I can have them cold, but why wouldn't I want them warm? Usually they consist of meat and bread at least. Both things that separately you like warm. When you go to Subway and they ask you if you want it toasted, everyone says yes. So why not do the same thing when you're making your sandwich at home or at like a fucking random restaurant? I'll order a sandwich and it's cold. Club sandwiches, why are they cold? Chicken, bacon, bread, all good warm. I feel like I'm gonna get diseases if I eat cold chicken. I'm noticing the main problem is chicken because now I'm thinking about chicken wraps. When I went to the Rainforest Cafe, which I love, I ordered a chicken wrap and the tortilla like wrap part of it was warm, but when I bit into it, the chicken was cold. And the more time I spent in America, I noticed that this was a trend. For some reason, you make chicken wraps with cold chicken. Why? I don't even have a witty reason for this. It just seems like people turn perfectly good things that are warm and turn them cold and give them a different name just for an excuse for them not to heat them up. You keep it cold to preserve it. Heat that shit up. Hell, light it on fire and lock the door like they did in 1911 in New York City at the Triangle. Fish. I've noticed that everybody in my house complains about the terrible fish smell when somebody's cooked it earlier in the day, but they all eat fish. It tastes the same as it smells. My friends all call me a picky eater because I don't like fish, and they're like, well, there's millions of different types of fish, so you don't like millions of types of food. They all have that same, like, fishy flavor that I hate. It's a bad form of logic. It's like if you took a spice that was really disgusting and put it on every food. There are fish that have a lesser amount of that flavor that I don't think are too terrible, but I think it's hypocritical to not like the smell, but then like the flavor. And a lot of other seafood is just kind of weird. Mussels? I'm good. I have my own. Fish with the bones and the eyes still in it. I like to eat my animals in blissful ignorance of the trauma in which they were killed. And I can't eat crabs. When I was about 12 years old in Cuba, I watched some locals throw ice cubes at a crab, kind of torturing it. And then eventually, when they got bored with that, they picked up the crab and they ripped off every limb by limb while it was alive. And I didn't think crabs made noises. That's when I discovered they did. I mean, they were torturing the thing. And so I can't eat crabs. Mushrooms. I cannot sugarcoat this. It's a literal fungus. People get grossed out that like you grow shit between your toes, like fungus infections. You will watch The Last of Us and say, damn, I really hope I don't get infected by that fungus. And yet you order a pizza and you're like, let me get extra of that. What is actually wrong with you? I cannot wrap my brain around eating something that causes deaths on the daily. Probably not daily. On the sometimes. And on top of that, the flavor is bad, but the main part is like, it's the most unideal thing to chew on. The texture is akin to if you took a bunch of toilet paper, crushed it into a small ball, and then let it sit in water for 12 hours, and then bit on that after. I'm not crazy for not liking mushrooms. Stop making me feel like I am. The actual flavor of mushrooms is horrendous. There was a time in high school where in science class, for some reason, we were learning about different types of flavors. You know, sweet, bitter, sour, umami, salty. And we had a lab where there were a bunch of liquids, and we would try them and and write on a paper which one it was. By the end, we only had 2 liquids left, and it was sweet and bitter. And one of them was clear, and one of them was brown. We thought, oh my god, we're getting blessed today with some beautiful iced tea. And so we went for the brown one first. To our surprise, our teacher was an asshole and put rehydrated shiitake mushroom juice in it. And I genuinely have never tasted something as bad as that to this day. I think people really think that eating mushrooms is like cool, because at that point we were blind taste testing and no one liked it. But those same people, I bet years later, are like, yeah, I love mushrooms on my pizza. Yeah, and guess what? The clear liquid was water with sugar packets in it. Delicious. Great day. Condiments. When I tell people my least favorite food is mustard, they get a little shocked because that's a condiment, but there was nothing I would rather not eat than that. So humans found this thing called a mustard seed, and then they used it for chemical warfare. You know, a literal weapon that causes pain and perhaps death. Mustard gas. So tell me why you took the exact same seed and changed it just a little bit to make the condiment mustard and convince yourself that something like that is good. Ooh, I just love eating death. And it's way too popular. I have seen my brother lick mustard off of a plate. Oh, it's gross. There was this one restaurant that I went to that there were about 7 burgers on the menu, and I was really jonesing for one. You know, I wanted 6 ounces of meat just in my mouth. And on all 7 of the burgers, there was an ingredient called mustard aioli, which, first of all, what the fuck is that? Just say mustard, you bougie LA. Second of all, why is it on every single burger? This is a problem I have with restaurants where they convince themselves that an ingredient is good, and instead of putting it on a couple of the options, they put it on every single one. I'm not a picky eater, but you make me seem like one when I ask to take something off, because you've given me no option otherwise, except to put death oil on your burger. I also hate it when I go to a restaurant and they give you a bunch, like a tray of random sauces, and my friends are all like dipping in it. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is. They're like, oh, try it. All right, I have 6 pieces of meat. I'm not wasting a whole piece of meat to try mystery sauce. And sometimes when you eat something and it's so terrible, it just stays in your palate the entire night and you can't wash it down. Why would I have that? Your palate will adjust. The amount of times I've been told your palate will adjust. I didn't like that when I was younger. I'd be rich if it could be monetized. Something like olives, which again has that same phenomenon of the smell being horrendous. And people would agree with you. It tastes the fucking same as it smells. Coffee, once you're in college, you're gonna start drinking it and you're gonna love it. I hated coffee at first. Coffee is not good. You just had to rely on it so much that the addictive properties eventually made you like it. Beer, which is possibly the worst alcohol to get adjusted to. They call it a beer belly for a reason. It makes you fat. It just does. And it tastes like shit. What are the positives to getting addicted to beer? It is literally just cheap. Say you're broke. You know what I mean? Say you're broke. Shitty combos. A lot of people and restaurants will just ruin perfectly good things by putting a combination of items that make 0 sense. Avocado toast. I do not like avocados. People ask me why. I say it tastes bad, and they tell me it tastes like nothing. Okay, if it tastes like nothing, why the fuck did you just put it on your toast? Wouldn't you rather something like butter, jelly, peanut butter, anything but an avocado? You cannot convince me that they are good, because every time I say it tastes bad, you just say it tastes like nothing. Maybe I just hate Los Angeles. I don't know. I do know. I do hate Los Angeles. Coleslaw on pulled pork. I had an entire YouTube short about how terrible this is. There was a point where I was staying in America, and every time I went to go get pulled pork, they wouldn't even say pulled pork with coleslaw on it. That would just be an automatic. And I thought it was home free and I wouldn't have it, and then I'd order it and boom, coleslaw on. Now, who decided that this was the best option for a pulled pork sandwich? The taste of the pork is already strong, and you pair it with something that has the most strong and vile flavor. And even if you like the flavor of coleslaw, you can't deny that it's strong. Putting 2 strong flavors together is not exactly good. Couldn't have considered maybe pulled pork and lettuce beforehand, or pulled pork and nothing else, because it's good enough. Another topping that does not belong is tomatoes on burgers. Other than everybody in the fucking Bikini Bottom, who wants to eat a soggy burger? The juices that excrete from a tomato when you bite down inside of a burger are enough to soak up the bread with a higher percentage of water than humans have in our bodies. I had a friend complain about the order of which I put things in my burger the other day, because I did bread, patty, and then all the other ingredients. sides. And their argument was that the patty makes the bottom bun way too soggy. And then they proceeded to say that they loved tomatoes on their burger. I'm sorry, but one of them does it slightly more, considering that it's filled with water. I'll stop. I'll give you one other combo that I hate. Everyone praises Chick-fil-A. Whatever. I don't care. It's fine chicken. But what I hate is that their signature main burger is chicken, bread, and pickles. Nothing else? Yes, you can add other things to it, but why is that the base? And it's not like you can get another burger. They all have bread, chicken, and pickles on them, at least since the last time I was there. Maybe you like the combination. I think it's bad. If you put lettuce instead, that would make sense. It doesn't taste the same, but it has that same fresh quality that you're looking for with the vegetables. Stop putting weird shit together. Oh, you just didn't have it made right. I don't care if you put oil on it instead of water. Stop saying, oh, you just didn't have it made right. Oh, you haven't had mine yet. Zucchini, Brussels sprouts, couscous, macaroni salad. I don't give a fuck what it is. It's not gonna taste better if I don't like the base. And half the time, it's someone, even though they don't remember, who I've already had their version of it telling me that. Look, I'm not picky. If I get the same thing at a restaurant I go to often, it's probably because it's good. And maybe I was going there because I was craving that specifically. I do try new things at restaurants and other people's houses all the time, but I know a good old reliable when I see one. I think it especially pisses me off because when I was a kid at my grandma's every weekend for spaghetti with the whole family, I wouldn't eat the pasta with sauce until I was like 7 because I was scared. And I only tried gravy when I was 10, and now poutine is my favorite food. Point is, you need to try new foods. You won't know you like them unless you do. But if I don't like it as a 20-year-old fucking man, I don't think something's gonna suddenly change when I try it again with your recipe. So get it the fuck out of my face. I'm not picky. You just eat gross shit.